Okay. So who's LeGrudge and who's Rugged?
I'm LeGrudge, and he's Rugged.
Yeah, LeGrudge Rugged.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Crazy.
So it's you know, it came from, I guess, after we quit advertising, because we both used to do advertising together. Mike used to work with me or for me.
Yeah.
And when we left that, we were trying to come out with our own name to do our own thing, right? And we decided to use our aliases, which is, you know, what LeGrudge and Derek Rugged are. Those are our aliases, and also our Xbox Live gamer tags.
Okay. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, no, because when I first looked at the name, it just reminded me of cartoon characters. They'd be perfect names for cartoon characters.
That's funny, because a lot of people think that it's the name of a porn production company. But, you know, or we sell toys, or we manufacture toys or something like that. But
Okay.
We should do a cartoon, I think.
we should do a cartoon.
That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
that'll be fun.
So how long have you two guys known each other and been working together?
What, 5, 6 years?
5-6 years now, yeah. And maybe a little.
Okay, so advertising first,
Yeah.
and then games, or all at once?
Yeah, no, he was advertising flat out. Mike came knocking on the door. We were not hired at the time, but for some reason we had an ad for a production assistant, and he was trying to break it into movies and commercials and that sort of thing, and ended up just becoming a graphic designer with the firm we were working at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and funny enough, he got hired because he had a fairly good demo reel for After Effects works and whatnot, and there was this one particular piece that was like the intro to a porn that he had done so well. Like, you know, the colors were perfect, everything was perfect. So that's what got him hired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at which point did Krunch come about in the whole relationship? Was it?
Well, when we left advertising, we started working on just prototypes here and there, and we went to game jams. We did loot 'em there whenever we could, and it was actually from a mini game there that Krunch came about. It was the subject matter. Sorry, the theme was greatest fear. So we decided to go with claustrophobia.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, Krunch has changed quite a bit, but, you know, the essence of it still remains.
Okay. Now, in the game bio, you say that it was inspired by the NES era. So, which games in particular from that era?
Yeah, it's really hard to say what games. I think it's mainly the idea of the difficulty of it. I mean, NES era games were so unforgiving, and I actually think that Krunch is almost a little too easy to be called NES era. We were actually planning on kind of putting out the NES mode, where you've got a finite number of continues and lives, and I think that'll make Krunch into what it really should be for NES era gaming. But what specific? I mean, it's hard to say because Krunch is kind of like a floaty. It's not really a platformer, right? But I mean, I definitely drew a lot of inspiration from Mega Man. And who doesn't love Mega Man, right?
A lot of people hate Mega Man, but, you know, that's their life.
I think everyone loves Mega Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I must admit, I've been involved with games for 27 years and I've never played Mega Man. It's terrible.
Oh, it happens.
Awful.
Mike's never played Metroid.
I've never played Metroid,
Yeah.
so
Ah.
I know. I feel a little ashamed saying that. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I guess both of you were burning in hell at the same time, so it's all good.
Okay. So it was just you two on Krunch, or did you have artists that you used, or?
Well, we started just the two of us, and at some point we brought in Sarah Gross, 2-Bit Art on Twitter, to do some reverse concepts of our work. We wanted her take on the boss account from Krunch, and it just took off from there. Like, you know, we're still doing quite a bit of work with her. We also got Disaster Piece involved to take care of the music, so he took care of half of the music in the game, and also coached Mike, you know, through improving his own work, because, you know, he wrote half of the music in the game as well.
Oh, cool. Excellent.
Yeah. And then towards the very end of the game, we brought in John Fair to kind of like rap game, you know, with like his sound effects and whatnot, and it does really make a difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long did the whole process take?
Well, Krunch, the prototype was done in a weekend, and I think we had the game where we could have launched it in about 3 months. But then, we kept on pushing it, and it took about 2 years to get it where it's at right now.
Yeah.
So it took 3 months and then another 21 months to finish it.
Because, I mean, we're still balancing, our time between doing the games that we want to make and actually paying the bills, right? Like, we're still grabbing contract work and, like, doing web, some advertising, some graphic design to, to keep the boat rolling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. So, I mean, what was the biggest mistake you felt you made when creating Krunch? What would you do again if you had the time over? Or what would you not do again if you had the time over?
What wouldn't we do again?
You know what? I would say that there were mistakes that we almost made. Like at one point, we almost decided to put gravity into the game, and it would have totally broken everything. It would have been a whole new game.
Yeah.
But luckily, we kind of came to our senses after 2 days of trying to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think Krunch came about very organically. It wasn't like we really had a clear set path on where we were going.
Yeah.
We kind of bounced ideas off each other back and forth. So in that regard, I don't know. I don't know what I would not do.
I think we can take the luxury of saying that, because it is our first, full commercial release, I don't think anything was a mistake. We fumbled quite a bit. I mean, we let it go organically. So I'm still learning from it. I'm enjoying this whole process, right? Like, the one thing that we could have done is actually pushed it a little more and released it a little sooner.
Yeah.
And that's just so that we could have worked on other projects at the time. But life got in the way, and we were at some points not necessarily like focused on it, right? But yeah, it's been awesome. It's been great to just take it from that little 15 level prototype to this point, and now we're working on the collector's edition as well. Like, that's it's
Okay.
great.
Yeah, because that was going to be my next question. What's next? But so you've got the collector's edition,
Which is
and then it'll be Krunch 2 or a completely new property.
We have 2 more games on the works right now. We have the direct continuation to Krunch, because we love the world that we've created on it, and the name of the game is Binge. So it's not a sequel, because it's a very different game, but it kind of follows. It's what happens after Krunch is over.
Yeah. To pull a Ridley Scott, it's not aliens, but it's within the same universe.
Yeah. You're right. But and then we have this little game that we're really excited about. We're just working on it right now, and it's like I can't even put it together just yet in words. But it has chihuahuas, it has luchadores, it has a lot of flavor, and it's very hectic. And yeah,
it's fairly ridiculous.
It is pretty ridiculous, but we'll probably have it ready soon.
Yeah.
I hope. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to take a different approach on this one, where let's get this prototype as quick as possible, and let's see how much we can play it, and then
Yeah. I think because Krunch grew so organically, we realized we don't necessarily have the time to spend another 2 years developing a game. We'd like to go full-time development on our next project. So that means this next few projects are much more structured.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
It's fun.
So do you have a figure in your head on how much you want to spend on making the game, or does that not matter?
I don't know if it's so much what we spend. It's our time that's really the valuable thing, because game development so far has been relatively inexpensive, but our time costs a lot.
Yeah. Personally,
Yeah.
I mean, it is the one resource that we can and cannot afford.
Yeah, exactly.
To waste. But I don't know. I mean, a lot of what I was doing towards the end of my advertising career was figuring out prices and production, and how how to bring a project to fruition without spending too much. So I kind of didn't do that on Krunch because I wanted to see the full extent of a project. But now that I actually do have numbers and whatnot, we're gonna try to set ourselves like an internal budget and then take it from it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you almost have to be a developer and a publisher. You have to have developer skills, and you need to understand what a publisher would bring to the fore, and that would be, you know, looking at budgets, making sure you actually finished on time, because it's so easy when you're doing something yourself just to not consider time as a cost.
Yeah. Well, and scope as well. I mean, Krunch started as a small project, and it ended with what, like 1,600 different tiles and sprites, and I mean, it just, the scope grew every week. So now we try to set a limited scope from the beginning and work to it.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up growing into something else, because that's just it, right? We don't want to limit ourselves from the get-go. We want to obviously keep on like our expenses and all that. I think Krunch could have been released a year earlier, but I had a kid, and you know, we kind of like changed our focus quite a bit. Yeah. From that point.
So you fit in a real job, making games, and a family all in a lifetime. Crazy.
It is. It's different though. But you know, the one thing that I like about the structure of my day to day now is that, you know, and I'm sure Mike can relate to it as well. I don't have to get in my car to drive an hour and a half to get to work. You know, I can still focus myself 4 or 5 hours a day and do what I need to get done, right? But I don't depend on those things. So I have more time for my family, and I have more time for the things that I like, right? I get to work out. I'm healthier now. We're still making things happen, right?
We're still making things happen. I agree 100%. It's hard to balance all three: a full-time job, game development, and your family, and you have to figure out what comes, you know, what is priority almost. Yeah. And now that the full-time job is out of the books, it's so much easier to just, you know, enjoy life, I guess.
I mean, it's a lot more stressful, obviously, because, you know, we don't have a set shift coming in 2 weeks, but it keeps you out there, like, you know, looking closely or trying to get contracts. And, you know, I like that sort of pressure. I would take this type of stress, if you will, over whatever else, you know, somebody else's stress is passed on to me.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then lastly, if you had to sum up your relationship with indieroyale in one word, what would that one word be?
That's a tough question.
Yeah.
All right, 2 words.
Value.
Or
value. Yeah. Okay, you're thinking high road.
Value.
I was gonna say something else. Now I feel like a dick. I don't know.
Or I have to stop that bit out.
I would say growth.
Yeah.
I think that's a constant in you know, if we have one thing in common, and one thing that has happened, you know, constantly, is that we have grown as friends and we have grown as professionals too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, in both areas, right? Got our advertising. We went through our times. It's still part of our process. I mean, this is online as well. We argue quite a bit about everything, and I don't know. I guess, you know, it gives us better work at the end of the day, right? Like, our results show for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, it's been great speaking to you. I look forward to seeing some more work on your tattoos in a few months, and speak to you soon.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.